Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 106 of Project Zomboid, which originally aired live on Twitch. At the start here, as you can see, I've updated my current project. It is just to manage the home a bit, because I have done a lot of away time. Morty, Bunker, and Queerzilla, thanks to the resubs. So yeah, I've been away from the base a bit. The very end of last stream, as a little reminder to you all, we went on a little trip to see if there's any reliable sources of, mostly shotgun shells, but basically munitions. And the TLDR is, no, there really isn't. At this point, we have exhausted everything inside of West Point and Valley Point in terms of ammunition. Which means no more running around blasting with a shotgun. We won't be able to afford it. I'll be turning on the channel point redemption for suggesting goals in a little bit, but the first thing I wanted to do is to get some of the farm going, harvest the tomatoes that I have, and tend to all the plants. As winter approaches, it's going to be, well, it's here. It's December 20th. So pretty much the official start of the winter, just about. It's going to be very, very important to make sure that we stay productive, because foraging is no longer a thing. Not that I think that we're going to starve. I think we're actually have ridiculous ample amounts of food. But with that said, yeah, it would be possible to manage it poorly, have the food rot, and then end up in some sort of starvation, and then we want to avoid that for obvious reasons. Looks to me like I am officially out of freezer space. Totally out of freezer space. Gemini, Morty, and Glitch, thanks for the bits and the resub as well. You're on episode 52. Do I have Dyson Sphere program? I have, actually, and I've played it on stream. Just never made it to YouTube. One of the very few that never makes it. But I appreciate it. You'd love to gift it to see a series? Yeah, well, I think it happened so long ago, it's probably got knocked off of Twitch by now. But yeah, I played it for like, I don't know, 10 hours or so. JD, thanks for the bits and tooth as well. Welcome all. So I was thinking, and I'm obviously, as a hallmark of the channel, I look for your all feedback, but I was thinking that we are nearing the end of this series. At this point, we are sort of in the maintenance mode, for lack of a better term, due to the restrictions on this series where we're not really leaving this geographical area. I suppose I could lift that rule and explore other towns, but what I think might be interesting instead, in lieu of doing that, would be to poll you all if you want to see more PZ content, or if you would like some other game. Because, there are other games other than the few that I play. Why am I slowly disappearing? That's weird. Man, my lighting is all sorts of jank today. I thought I fixed that. Oh, there we go. I'm not shimmery anymore. Here Yoda is. Exarch, Lucid, and Celadin, thanks for the resubs as well. But yeah, I will be polling about whether more PZ or not. If I do play more PZ, I would make the executive decision to essentially play a series where I am playing no mods, no extra rules, no save scumming, none of that, and playing on Apocalypse and seeing how that goes. Apocalypse difficulty is significantly different due to how violent the zombies are, how quick they respawn, and the reoccurring helicopter events. The game really does significantly change under Apocalypse settings, how difficult it is to gather resources. So all of the resource abundance that I have right now would clearly be near impossible to obtain on a harder difficulty. And I'd also constantly need to be ready for more chopper visits, because that's something that happens often. Or, alternatively, some new game. There's always the possibility of that. So, I'll be pulling for that soon, because I do think that there's probably only a week or two left of PZ before, you know, we're sort of out of options. There is, I should also mention, news of PZ updates. So I did mention this last stream, but Project Zomboid is getting some new updates pretty soon, which look very cool. So if you're interested in them, you can read up on the forums about it. The TLDR, a lot of the items and the auditory stuff is getting significant reworks, which is very cool. So items that are placed on tables, shelves, things like that, they will actually render rather than disappear. They'll have their own models. Yeah, and then there's a huge rework to the sound engine, which will be pretty significant as well, I suspect. So there is that. Crucio, thanks for the resub as well. Yeah, of course, there are the new RimWorld updates, but I've already made an announcement at Rhadamant.com about that specifically. So that is already planned. So that's not necessarily what would replace PZ. All right. So I am planning on just spending the remainder of today, it's 3 p.m. or almost 4 p.m., just managing the base a little bit, because it's not something that we, you know, it's not something that we can put off. So manage the farm and then do perimeter checks, perhaps work on some additional skills, because it always serves us well to be as skilled as we can be. So I have an electrical book to read. This puts us in the 7 to 8 category, which is kind of nice. And then just to inspect all the plants. One of the things that we haven't done, and I think on harder difficulties it's even more important, is to actually inspect plants for diseases. I've not done a single disease check. But here we go. Disease none. None. Because in harder difficulties, the Devil's Water fungus, and I think there are ways to avoid Devil's Water fungus, like spacing out your crops, things like that. But it's very vitally important to be mindful. So here is a young carrots with flies. How flies are surviving in 37-degree temperatures, I have no idea. But let's solve that. So that's the second row of carrots, the young carrots, and this will be the first time I'm demonstrating it. So flies cure is just cigarettes, water, and a spray can. So now I have insecticide spray, and I can treat the problem of pest flies, and I'll treat, I don't know, 25, or actually I need to treat like, what, 28, 29. Done. Disease none, right? And let's go through the rest of these plants to make sure there's no more flies problems. And what that would do, if left unchecked, it would flies or mildew hurts yields, whereas Devil's Water fungus kills plants and spreads. So that's why one is a little bit more dangerous than the other. Lolin, thanks for the bits, and Do Village for the resub. Your longest running Twitch sub. I appreciate it, Ron. I know that I keep saying soon with the trademark, but Kenshi is on some sort of horizon. More Kenshi content, because I know that that's something you wanted. Oh no, those are seedling radishes. I can't read. The stuff I just planted probably should not be diseased, I'd imagine, because that would be weird. But it looks like my insecticides, yeah, that's it. It was just that one plant. Okay. So the insecticide spray I'm going to put away. I have spare gardening spray cans. So that I could have insecticide and mildew at the same time. In order to make mildew is much like an insecticide. It just requires spoiled milk, which is harder to come by than, it's obviously harder to come by than just cigarettes for the insecticide spray. Yep. Zomboid is one of those games where, like, even if you're very knowledgeable about it, it's a difficult game, and when you're a new player, death upon death is very normal. So I get asked a lot in YouTube comments, and it's one of these games where it's like, yeah, you'll die, and your first many runs won't succeed, but what you need to do is you just need to practice to be then successful later on, because death is one of those things that happens all the time here. So there we go. The entire outdoor farm is now tended to. One of the other things I wanted to do is to work on the indoor farm, because we do have strawberries, and I wanted to plant some broccoli to mix it up a little bit. Hey, Poetic Artist, thanks for the resub as well. I feel after, because this would be our, like, 116 of Zomboid. I feel like after about 100 hours, and obviously I had played many hours before this. In fact, I could check Steam to see what my total playtime is. Nearing 250. So after 250 hours, I feel like decent at Zomboid. Just to give you an indicator of, like, how tough that can be. Hey, Tumbling Satellite. How's RimWorld? I didn't get to check you out this morning, but saw that you were playing. Welcome. Can you clean snow? Yeah, I think you can shovel it. There's not much point to do it. It's not harming anything, so I usually just leave it there. But I probably have a shovel somewhere. Come on, eat. Chet almost killed us. Classic Twitch toolkit. Oh yeah, classic Twitch toolkit. Chat giveth and chat taketh. Oh wow, these so these strawberry plants I didn't check for insecticides, but they really need to be watered. So I'm glad I'm down here. And then I also brought the broccoli packets, so we could plant some of those as well. How's it going? It's going pretty well. And yeah, we got a bit of a hype train going, I think. Lots of people resubbed in bits and everything. Okay, all of these strawberries are good. Let's open up the broccoli seed packet. Now, what's important about this broccoli seed packet, I don't have other broccoli seeds, so I can't let these I can't let these seeds die or anything, because I don't have a way to get more seeds. So it looks like it is 6 seeds per plot. Do I prefer playing sandbox worlds or just any game genre? There's some game genres that I don't like, but I'm generally not too picky. It really depends on the quality of the game more than the genre, but there are some genres that you really won't see me play ever because I have very low interest, and I think the audience has low interest too. So like racing games or sports games tend to never make a debut here. And I don't hate MOBAs, but I don't play MOBAs, and I don't play MMOs either. MMOs, as anyone that has ever played an MMO knows, if I play multiple games, there is no time to play MMOs and other games. Like, most MMOs demand all your time if you're playing them in high levels, so I simply do not have the time to dedicate to any sort of MMOs. So we have 26 seeds left, but there we go. We have a broccoli farm started. Yeah, MMOs are a second job. What is MOBAs? MOBA would be like Dota or League of Legends. Those are MOBAs. Yeah, that's the genre. In fact, most of the games I play aren't even multiplayer. Of course, Project Zomboid is multiplayer, but, like, I'm not playing it multiplayer. And this current branch hasn't gone multiplayer anyway. Alright. Well, here's a bunch of radishes. I think I'm gonna grab these older radishes and just huck them into the, even though they're not spoiled yet, huck them into the compost. Another thing I could do, now I'm thinking about it, let's use this NPK fertilizer on the new broccoli seeds. If we can. This is branch 41. This is beta 41, so there's no multiplayer in 41 yet. Alright, I hope that this bag of fertilizer... Oh no, you know what? There's not enough fertilizer in it to fertilize everything down here, so I'm going to have to pick and choose. So I did 2 strawberries and 2 broccolis. So as you can see, it now has fertilized 1. Stutach, thanks for the resub as well. And Fast Wings and Captain Kenty for the follows. Welcome all. Oops, I made a bowl of water. Alright, I think... No, maybe I didn't. I was pretty sure I had a fertilizer bag. But I guess not. Okay. Whoa, there's a lot of worms in my composter. It's also nearly full. So if it's nearly full, let's grab some of the compost and use it. So get... I have just like a random sack. And I'm going to fill it up with all the compost. How about Horizon Zero Dawn? I have played all of the original Horizon Zero Dawn plus the one of the DLCs, and you can find that on YouTube. I played it on Twitch, and it aired on YouTube. Lynchman, thanks for the sub. Welcome. Yeah, I don't play a lot of the story games. But with that said, I'm currently playing Subnautica here and there when it gets voted on, so that's not entirely true. Alright, give me all your compost. Man, there really needs to be a faster way to get compost than this. I'm only taking 10% at a time. This seems ridiculous. I've been, like, taking... Oh, you know, is it taking and then putting it back? I think it's taking and putting it back. Okay, I'm just stupid. Okay, yep. I'm just stupid. Okay, well, let's use this compost then. Whoa! Wow, that was interesting. So I fertilized these two, and they're already a full phase ahead of the, They were probably just on the brink of being a phase ahead, but that seems fast to me. But there they go. I just watched it grow. That's pretty cool. Alright, it's becoming late in the day. I'm going to open up a channel point redemption so that you all can suggest things that I work on. Keeping in mind the requirements of the series, the rules and all that. And let's start prepping for tomorrow. So the prep for tomorrow would be making sure that we have food on the stove. So if you're curious about my schedule, about when things come out, I have a website Rhadamant.com, which will tell you everything. Mac, thanks for the bits as well. Cheers. So Rhadamant.com, I will have countdown timers to all the streams that I run, and then a schedule for every single YouTube anything that I ever air. Hey, Daddy Coda. One of your viewers spoiled that you were showing up here, but welcome. Phasmophobia. Sweet. I've watched some Phasmophobia on Twitch, but I never myself played. Is that what you normally play? Because, you know, I am, alas, unfamiliar with your channel, but I will have to check you out. In fact, let me do that right now. If Twitch won't autoplay. Please don't autoplay. Alright, there we go. Little reminder for later. Just dropped you a follow. Welcome, Raiders. So, important things for the Raiders to know. Just now I opened a Channel Point Redemption. Probably it's outside of your... Well, actually, Daddy Coda, you might be able to afford it because you raided. But we're deciding on what I do tomorrow in Project Zomboid right now, in the Channel Point Redemptions. And the TLDR is I am 5 months and 14 days into this. I've killed one zombie shy of 3,500 zombies. But that's a low estimate because I've killed a ton of zombies with my vehicle and with fire. So probably that number's closer to 15,000. Which I know sounds crazy, but like I think 15,000 is like a pretty honest estimate of how many zombies I've managed to kill. Here's the skills. So very high fitness and strength, extraordinarily high carpentry and farming and cooking, with some trapping and other things in there. I am currently not working on any mega projects, but that's not necessarily to say that I'm not open to them. So if anyone has ideas for mega projects, feel free to submit them as Channel Point Redemption goals. Yeah, 15,000 zombies would be... well, Geno is not even the right prefix for what that is. That's just annihilation. Right, buddy? And also, Raiders, we have the mascot. Well, one of the mascots. The other one's in the next room. Pops, come here. And then here's another, my second mascot, who I'm summoning. Here she is. She floats. Hi. Don't lick my fingers. Come on. Give me a paw. Ni hao. Good girl. Yep. I actually have 3 dogs, but the third dog doesn't hang out with me. And I am... Yeah. I can call her in here and she'll show up for like a quarter of a second and then leave. She prefers mommy. That's okay. Let's see. So the redemptions were paused because I'm an idiot. So now the Channel Point Redemption is open. I can try to call the third dog. Echo. Actually, I probably can't. The door is closed and she can't get in. So that would just be mean. Cruzio, you love that that Channel Point. You really want a watchtower, don't you? What else is there to say about little Ash Williams here? My right hand is wounded because I crashed my car real fast into a tree. And ducks. Yes, I have a collection of ducks. They actually serve a purpose, so exclamation mark about explains the purpose of the ducks, but yeah. How far did you get on the safe place to the north? So, the safe house to the north is secured and sheet-roped and ready for me to bug out there if need be, but I didn't really do much else besides that. So it got as far as it probably needs to be for like a bare minimum bug out house, but it's that's as far as I got. I love some of these Channel Point Redemptions. All right. Sitting on the ground. One day, Project Zomboid will allow us to use furniture. I don't know when that day will be, but it will be someday, and it will be glorious. We'll we will not have to sit on the ground like hobos. Zombie sling hobos, but hobos nonetheless. Yeah, I am indeed a hobo with a shotgun. Oh, bye Yoda. Alright, looks like we have a whole lot of projects here, so let me type them up for you all to vote on. And this will be the first goal. So Cruzio wants me to build a watchtower. One of the interesting things about watchtowers is the maximum Z level that will be obtainable next patch will be lower, I think. Will be only +7 or something like that. Rhoda wants me to clean the zombies from the traps, so secure traps area. Crash wants me to scavenge some homes. There's a lot of homes in West Point, and almost every single home in Valley Point that I've not really scavenged. Stutach for a duck shrine. I'm not sure what a duck shrine would look like, but, you know. Clear the roads. And that was from Aki. Scorched Ruin wants me to plant trees. So, trees can't be planted. But what I could do is I can not chop down young trees to let them grow. And then Jazzium wants me to level up tailoring. So I did recently level up my tailoring to a new milestone, but I haven't actually updated my clothing. So I have tailoring level 4 unlocked, but I haven't actually used tailoring level 4 to put that in perspective. And it looks to be just about midnight in-game. See if I'm fast enough I can catch the weather report. Weather reports are at the top of every hour. I'm curious what the weather's going to be like tomorrow and the next day. Don't just vzz at me. There we go. I do find it funny how it keeps telling me that there's a blackout. It's like, thanks. So it's going to be quite cold, very low humidity, clear skies, mild wind. Doesn't sound so bad. Barely, yeah. It's mostly going to stay below freezing. Okay. Whoa. There was some sort of communications failure alert there, too. I'm not even sure what that means. You want other tips other than watch TV? Well... I would say build up a really good understanding of the items that you need for long-term survival. Because what is required for a player to forward early game and what is needed late game are very, very different. So like watch TV and getting every skill book, like getting all the requisite skill books is pretty important. Hey, I thought I turned you off. What the heck? Here we go. I don't have any mods running at all. 0 mods. Alright, let me quickly back up my save, and we'll work on whatever gets voted. Yeah, I didn't bother with a light bulb mod. One of the things that I might be able to do in like a future series is to live somewhere where I don't have to install my own light bulbs, but I'm constantly griping about light bulbs because they burn out like every 2 or 3 days, which is silly, but just the way it is. It's pretty avoidable to have to deal with light bulbs though, because if you don't like to have to replace light bulbs, just don't install your own lights. Just use lights that exist, which means to live in a building that you didn't build yourself. I would also say that if you're starting new, you definitely don't need to be farming ASAP. Farming is something that you should start when you should start farming about a week or so before perishable goods. Well, farming is interesting because it really depends on how long you keep power for. If you don't end up losing power really early on, you don't really need to farm very early on, because even if you do keep power, the sort of concept is farming bridges the gap between when all the perishables perish and stops you from having to dip into non-perishables for, you know, so you don't eat emergency supplies. So let's say that your power goes out on day 7. You're going to want to farm earlier than if your power goes out on day 20. But then it also depends if you've managed to secure your own generator and power up your own refrigerators. Because what will happen is once the power goes out, you have a few days before basically all food everywhere is goes bad. You know, and all the fridges that, you know, will inevitably spoil because of lack of refrigeration. So farming isn't something that you want to spend time on in the first week or two. And I would even go so far as to say securing trapping and farming is really only useful once you can't reliably get food sources. But do it too early and you're wasting early time. If you want me to go in more detail, I'm happy to. Mrs. Medieval, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Alright, I'm just swapping generators so that they're always running full fuel. Yeah, so the reason why I wouldn't start farming really early on, the like full reason, is as long as there is perishables in refrigerators and freezers, it's a far better idea to be scavenging for supplies that you don't have to grow yourself, because the amount of time it takes in game, seed-bearing potatoes. The amount of time it takes in game to farm is not insignificant, and so bang for your buck. If there's refrigerators that have food that hasn't spoiled, it's way smarter to be searching refrigerators for food that hasn't spoiled instead of farming, because farming takes the most effort for per calorie, and then trapping takes some effort per calorie, whereas rooting through someone's kitchens takes very little effort per calorie. And then a lot of the stuff that you're going to find in random refrigerators is stuff, or in cupboards rather, is stuff that won't even spoil anyway, which then means that it's you know, it's food that you won't even need to refrigerate, which then has its own benefit. So essentially, don't farm or trap or fish until you need to, until there's essentially no more food in your vicinity that you can scavenge that is perishable. As long as there's perishable food out there that can be salvaged, do that. It's less effort than farming, fishing, and trapping. All right, it looks like build a watchtower and level up tailoring is going to be the winning choices here. So let me close this poll, and I'm going to work on build a watchtower. So the stipulation of this watchtower was to make it as high as possible. Build a tall watchtower. And yes, a bite is 100% death, contrary to what the internet might tell you. Almost every person that has ever said, "Oh, I survived a bite," like, they weren't bit, or they were using mods. So if I'm going to build a really tall watchtower, I'm going to need probably some rope to help move the wood. Hey, all of the corpses that are out here are gone. They all rotted away, I just noticed. They've probably been gone for a while now, I just only now noticed. And then there's some things that I should take in from here. There we go. So let's get that watchtower done. And then if there's time left over, I'll work on tailoring. Another thing I'm trying to do is to add a little weight to me. So I have been consciously, purposefully overeating, if you're wondering. Like, I definitely didn't need to eat that whole bowl, but I did anyway. And we have some seed-bearing vegetables, and well, I guess they're both vegetables, so we're gonna tend to the farm before we start anything else. Yeah, some people love fat ash. I don't dislike fat, Ashley. You know, when I'm fat, it is nice to be fit for having to deal with zombies, but fat Ashley definitely has its charm too. Okay, these rain collector barrels, I'm not worried about running out of water because I have so many rain barrels. That's another thing, is if you're new, when you're a new player, the things that you're going to need to survive essentially is food, water, and electricity, right? Like, and shelter. The hierarchy of needs, so to speak. So, securing trash bags and carpentry skill helps with water. Securing a generator and a source of gasoline helps with fuel. And then, shelter is more or less a sledgehammer, if you ask me. Which is why this this series was so dang cursed, because I couldn't, for the life of me, find a sledgehammer. Because, you know, rain barrels is your water. You plumb them to a sink, you don't even need to boil anymore. That's really, really easy. I suspect that the whole plumbing rain barrel thing will change at some point. It will get more complicated, where you can't just plumb it and be like, oh, yay, I have, like, infinite, you know, pure water. Or not infinite, but it, you know what I mean. That game mechanic will likely change at some point and become more difficult, and I welcome it. But one of the big things that they're introducing next patch is finite gasoline. And I don't know how finite it will be, but that frightens me a little bit as like a hardcore player, because I can definitely imagine just simply running out of gasoline and being like, well, gotta go secure another gas station, which is a dangerous thing to do. I don't think I need to tell anyone, but most of the gas stations tend to be in cities, and most of the cities tend to be overrun. So securing a new gas station is sketchy. It's not an easy thing to do. I am these 30 frozen cabbages, because they're not fresh anymore. I am going to compost them, because I simply don't need so many cabbages. I want to keep everything as fresh as possible. I also have some stuff for jarring that I could. Nope. Wrong storage. There we go. And they'll eventually thaw out here. Because, well, even though it's 22 degrees out, there isn't this concept of, like, ambient freezing. As weird as that sounds, it's just not how the game works, so you can actually have situations where things thaw in freezing temperatures. Just video games being video games, right? Yes, gas pumps do need electricity. But as soon as you get the how to use a gas generator book, that becomes such a non-issue. Well, I know it took me a little while, but we're finally ready to actually start working on the watchtower. So I'm gonna wear down the most damaged wood axe here. And then I'm gonna actually get rid of the the hand axe that's on my belt, because I don't need the extra carry weight. We're also going to want some rope to help move lumber, So I'll add a whole bunch of rope. $12 rope is gotta be a lot of rope. And let's start. Yoda Streamer Cam, he's eating breakfast, so I'll have to refund you there. There you go. Refunded. The ETA on Western Settlers for RimWorld, 1.3 threw a whole big wrench in that. So I don't really have a an ETA that I can reliably say, oh, it's going to be ready, you know, X, Y, Z, whatever. I'll be working on it a lot, mod-wise, this week, though. Okay, I need a truck with trunk space. I'll take this black one out. So for Watchtower, it's really only wood and nails. So let's get to it. If you're wondering if I'm going to make a 1.3 game mechanics video, yes. I've already made an announcement on that at Rhadamant.com, but I'm going to wait until 1.3 is released because I made a game mechanics on when Royalty came out, and then Royalty so significantly changed in the first few weeks that half of the game mechanics that I presented were fundamentally different. So I'm not going to jump the gun there. I feel like a lot of creators are going to jump the gun and then their videos are going to be incorrect, like, very, very, very quickly thereafter. And that's just not something I want to do. Wow. I don't even have enough carry weight to make a 4-log stack. Okay. I guess. Let me try to put some stuff away in my backpack to see if I can't do it. There we go. It's because carrying a gun and ammo weighs me down more. Yeah, I've been playing 1.3, but I do suspect that a lot of the game mechanics are going to change before it officially gets released. So, no sense in jumping the gun. Like, there's a lot of feedback about how useful or useless fences are. But again, I guess I'm playing Zomboid here, so let's talk about Zomboid. But cheers, everybody. Okay, there's another 4-log stack. 4-log stacks are definitely the best way to move timber around for now. Okay, I have the rope for 2 more 4-log stacks, but my lungs are already burdened. Now, I picked here to, I picked this location specifically to cut down trees, so that I might, at some point, if it gets suggested and voted upon, create a... I didn't mean to do that. Create a, like, driveway in this area, which is something that had been proposed in the past. How many animated emojis can I make now? 5. I only have 2 so far, because I haven't had time to be my own animator. So I pretty much do all my own art. With some help here or there. Oh, wait, I don't have enough carry weight for this 4-log stack? Alright, let's overeat. Put my carried stew into my stomach. That'll free up some space. Alright, Cruzio, you are getting that watchtower you wanted. I feel like Captain America chopping down wood all day long. Does traps lose effectiveness if you cut too many trees around them? No. Common misconception. Traps are completely based upon the biome that they're in and the forageability of that biome. So traps are sort of driven off of the foraging engine to some degree or another, with how forageable an area is. So if you set a trap in like a city, your catch rates will be a lot lower, and you won't catch hares. You'll catch like, you know, rats and stuff. And then if you set your traps in country, in rural areas, you will catch hares and a higher amount. Now, currently, there is no limit as to how much a trap can catch or how close they can be together, but that is a game mechanic that I think they will intend to introduce. They just haven't done it yet, where if you put too many traps together in one area, it reduces the effectiveness. The only thing that really that messes with the traps would be... So the things that affect trap effectiveness is bait, and whether or not zombies destroy the traps, because zombies will crush your traps if given the chance. So, you know, something like half my traps have been destroyed already. I hope I'm not going to have to fight any zombies, because I can barely walk now. Cutting down trees for 4 hours, apparently, saps the strength. Captain America rips wood with his bare hands. He did once. Only the last piece. And I would like to think it was more of a show of strength, because that doesn't even really make sense. Where do you get your ideas for campaign idea rules for Zomboid and RimWorld? So Zomboid, it was like my own ideas. For RimWorld, it's usually viewer-suggested ones that are pulled. So I will open up a suggestion box specifically for series, and I'm going to be doing this when Ideology releases, where people will suggest different types of ideology styles, and then as a group we'll all vote on what the winner is. And that's more, everything on my channel is more or less voted on, so that isn't new to most people. So if you hop on Discord, the link to it would just be !Discord. If you hop on Discord and you look at the announcements, you can see some of the historical announcements, and I've had hundreds of different, you know, scenarios proposed, and then, you know, some win. So Frost and Fire, which is a YouTube only series I'm running right now, was proposed by my viewers, as was the Wendigos, as was the current, you know, the Viking series that just wrapped up, and then Western Settlers was proposed as well. Like, everything always is proposed by viewers and then voted on, and then the popular choice wins. Yep. And in the case of Western Settlers and with Frost and Fire, I've done a lot of the modding myself. So with Frost and Fire, I built an entire like RimWorld conversion mod from the ground up. I sourced some of it from other mods, and I accredit them appropriately, but you know, a lot of it is my own work. And then for Western Settlers, it's the same deal. You know, sourcing some of it from other people's mods, but then making a whole lot of mods myself. Because I used to work as a software developer. Back ages ago. It's weird to think about. Haven't done that really in years. Alright, looks like there's some planks here that I might be able to use as well. Because planks, obviously the building material of choice. Put the wood axe away. Maybe stick the hand axe back in my belt. It's kind of been my backup weapon in case my weapon fails. And I might sit and read a minute because my lungs are about to blow out my chest. And I don't want to reenact aliens here. I absolutely loathe... Oh, you know what I can do? I can cook my stew. Because I just ate both bowls of stew. If you're having trouble coming up with story ideas for yourself, one of the things that I've done in the past is sort of take inspiration from shows or films, that kind of thing, or even mythology. So the Viking series I ran was obviously Norse mythology, a bastardized version of it, but Norse mythology nonetheless. And then the Wendigos was, you know, Algonquin mythology. Because I feel like sourcing it from, you know, old myths is a pretty good way to go. So this is an entirely vegetable stew. Not using any meat for this one, because there was no available meat in the fridge. So that will be tomorrow's meal. And let's take... Oh man, there's so many frozen rabbits. Alright, we'll defrost 3 of these dead rabbits. I spent all day long cutting down trees, and I think my lungs are too on fire for me to start building now, but hopefully after reading a little bit of this book, I'll be more ready. Alright, got my bowls of food. For some reason or other, they're like boring, unhappy. Just the way it is. Alright. I have high exertion. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just sit and read for like an hour. I'll speed time up so it doesn't take too long, because I do want to lose some of that exertion. There we go. And I also got tired earlier because of the difficulty of the work that we're doing. How many viewers do I have normally? Well, if you go to like a meta website like Sullynome, SULLYGNOME, you can look up really any streamer to see analytics about whatever. That way you can always answer those questions for yourself. So I'm going to build the watchtower off of the roof of this this factory. You know, there's really no reason why I should start a new structure. If I start a new structure, there'd also be the zombies would have the ability to destroy the foundations on it. Now, oddly enough, buildings can float, and that's one of the critiques of this game that I've seen a lot, is that in multiplayer settings, everybody basically makes floating buildings. So it's not... Zomboid is not a very good multiplayer game for that reason, because people will just exploit the game engine and then cheat themselves out of, like, an honest experience. We all float down here. Oh, man. If only I had NPCs to help me with this project. I can't explain to you. I've been waiting for the NPC patch for like 10 years now. They actually had NPCs. I mean, they were very rudimentary, and they basically only just shot at you when they were like holed up in stores. But there was briefly NPCs in this game, and now, you know, they took them out. But the NPCs used to be part of the story. If any of you are like OG Zomboid players, you would play a tutorial that involved NPCs. And then they... Oh, that hurt. Minor damage. The wife tutorial, yeah. Exactly. Hey, I'm not even hurt anymore. My deep laceration on my hand is gone. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to put away a few of these sterilized bandages, because carrying as many as I have on me is not necessary. And oddly enough, the one that was on my hand never became dirty. It's still sterilized, so I'll just store it. The slight damage is because I fell off the top roof and, you know, hurt myself. Like a dummy. I do that a lot, but luckily one floor drops aren't generally all that dangerous to the player. Alright, let's go park this. This is not my daily driver. I just needed something with a big trunk. There's some innuendo there somewhere. And then park my daily driver over. If it starts. That's another thing, is I don't have the mechanical skill yet. My mechanical's only at 3. I don't have the mechanical skill yet to actually repair engines, which is too bad. Some alerts that I missed. Petrable, thanks. I'm Petrable, thanks for the bits, and rest in peace. Welcome, man. Half a year. Rock on. All right. Let's, we're gonna probably spend another day, almost certainly spend another day. Wait, yes, these are different planks. Spend another day, building this watchtower, because I generally spend 1 or 2 days on a goal, and this is definitely gonna be a 2-day goal. So I'm just taking the plank wood down here. And we'll probably also want a box of nails as well, I'd imagine. Do we find a sledge yet? Oh yeah, long ago. We've been rocking a sledgy for a long time. I will pet Tusk as soon as I'm able. I have no puppies with me. Womp womp. They're all eating breakfast. A late breakfast. One of the questions I have for you, and let me ask you real quick, what corner... Well, no, I'm actually going to answer that myself. If we have a watchtower, we're going to want to watch towards town, which is to the north. So that's where I'm going to build the watchtower. I also want to make it clear that this is role-playing. that watchtowers don't really serve much of a purpose in-game. But I'm building because I was asked to. So the first thing we're going to want for this watchtower, and it's probably going to look like a fire watchtower, is stairs. So we're going to need to drop a whole lot of these planks and then cut a whole bunch of these stacks of wood. How high can you build them? I think the Z-max level is 5, and I'm at 1, 2, so 3 stories up. 3 more stories. I think next patch, unless I have the information wrong, you can go up to 7. But I could be wrong about that. What are you doing? And 3 more planks. Okay, stairs. So, one of the things we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have a watch. Hey, someone's shooting. So like this. Unfortunately, that barrel's in the way. So maybe I will put it here instead. And then here, and then there. Yeah, okay. So I'll put the stairs here. So the way it's going to work is we're going to go up, and then we'll have a floor, and then we'll go up again. Another level. But it's going to be easy to work in the light when we're not exhausted. But where are you go? No, stop. Where are you going? Thank you for watching Project Zomboid, which originally aired live on Twitch. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell.